Welcome to the first episode of Season 5 of Changes Big and Small. This season, we're focusing on joy, a topic that's been standing out to me lately. I chose joy because I've noticed a growing interest in understanding joy and how it differs from happiness. This curiosity sparked the theme for our new season. Just last week, I went out for churrasco. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but basically the Brazilian roast meat. And I went there with a friend and her 12-year-old daughter. At some point during dinner, I suggested we try something fun. And I said to the tween, let's aim to have 10% more joy during dinner. And she was like, okay, which is one of the things I love about her. She's so game to try something new. And we were dancing and singing to the music, laughing until our cheeks hurt. We were fully present, swept up in the joy of the moment. This got me thinking about all the missed opportunities for joy. So what is joy really? And what makes it so powerful? In this season, we're going to explore this together. You're listening to Changes Big and Small with Damian President. Changes Big and Small will help you take action in your life with intention and purpose. In each episode, I invite you to take action to live the life that you want. So let's start by breaking down what we mean by joy. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, joy has three definitions. 1A, the emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires, which has the same meaning as delight. B, the expression or exhibition of such emotion, also known as gaiety. 2, a state of happiness or felicity, also known as bliss. And 3, a source or cause of delight. Now, I have to say that there are two ways of interpreting joy. Some people think of joy as really those short-term feelings that come from a specific event, while others think of joy as being that more internal, lasting emotion or sense of well-being. And this is how I'm thinking of joy here. Psychologists like Robert, I don't know how you say his last name, but I think it's Robert Plutchik, consider joy one of the core human emotions. To him, it's unlike happiness because happiness is a more temporary reaction to a good situation, while joy often arises from a deeper sense of contentment, connection, and fulfillment. So as you can see, joy is multidimensional. It can be both a general state of being and an emotion sparked by specific moments. While happiness can feel more external, like a response to something that happens to us, joy can feel more internal, connected to who we are and to what we value. For example, happiness might come from getting a promotion, while joy might come from the satisfaction of knowing that you're making a meaningful impact in your life or in your work. So curious about how other people perceive joy, I spoke with 10 women from different backgrounds, different cultures, different races, and different beliefs. What they shared with me really opened up the conversation about how we experience joy in our lives. Some responses were deeply personal, and others were more universal. Here are some of the things they said related to joy. Everyone is worthy of joy by virtue of being human. I want to keep taking opportunities and not let fear stop me as I get older. I want to have a meaningful relationship with my husband as we go into retirement. I want to keep doing work that matters. I'm moving more slowly these days to let the joy in. I sometimes feel a struggle between making money and doing the things I love. I want to make time to do more of the things I love outside of my work. I want more community, people to enjoy life with, more girlfriends. I want to make time for the simple joys of life. I want a satisfying, joyful life. I want to make time for the simple joys of life. 2 women specifically tied joy to Christianity, which I'd never thought about before, or at least not deeply, but they described it as a fruit of the Spirit, and that's something that comes from their faith. I was raised Catholic, and their words brought me back to a song we sang in church. For the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Okay. You are never going to hear anything on here again. Well, my grandmother always said, never say never. And I'm not sure that you appreciate the singing, but this is how the song went. And this song has stayed with me from childhood. I haven't been to church in many, many years, but this song has really just stayed in my memory, especially this sentence. And it struck me that for some, joy is not just an emotion, but it's something that's divinely rooted. But you don't need to be religious to experience joy. As those 10 women show, joy is available to all of us, no matter our background or beliefs. It's a feeling, a state, a way of being that we all deserve to tap into. So while joy is something we all deserve, it's not always easy to access. In my conversations, these same women also shared what holds them back from experiencing joy. Examples include, I need help prioritizing my goals, dreams, and wishes. I don't know how to make money doing what I enjoy. I don't get joy from my work anymore. I feel guilty when I spend time on things I enjoy. I'm so tired from work that I don't have the energy to do the things that bring me joy. This is where things get really interesting. The obstacles that prevent us from feeling joy often come from external pressures, expectations, and that ever present voice of self doubt. How many times have we all felt guilty for taking time to enjoy ourselves? Overwhelmed by the pressures of work that drain our energy? These are real challenges, but the good news is that they're not insurmountable. Throughout this season, we'll dive deeper into these barriers and explore ways to overcome them so you can reclaim joy in your life. Deirdre, a past guest on the podcast from episode 31, shared 2 rules for a meaningful life that made me laugh and think. The 2 rules are don't die in a foreign country and have no regret. Now, I'm not too worried about dying in a foreign country, but that second one, have no regrets, it really hit home for me. Deirdre didn't focus on joy per se from her perspective, but for her, it's more about living a life of well-being and satisfaction. That's no surprise given that her episode was on following your gut. But isn't that a form of joy too? The sense of peace that comes from knowing you're living in alignment with your values? I do want to remind you of a question that Deirdre shared, one she uses to guide her actions. Am I doing what I want to do? I find it interesting how some people consider joy important and actually plan or schedule it, while others leave it up to chance. Or they experience joy while never thinking of the concept itself. This makes me think of a quote by Valerie Kaur in a recent interview with Brené Brown. Valerie says, the thing about joy is that you can't force it. You can only create the conditions to invite it to come. I've been thinking a lot about that. How do we create the conditions for joy? You might not always be able to control when or how it shows up, but you can make space for it in your life. When Valerie went on to explain how joy shows up, her words vibrated within me, and I needed to listen to them again and again to make note of them. She said, the moment might sweep you off your feet. You might get a taste of that oneness and then come down able to see with the eyes of a sage, the heart of a warrior. Think of that imagery. Imagine the feelings, the taste, the sight. That idea of being swept off your feet by joy, it's really stayed with me. Like it's such a vibrant feeling, a vibrant image. It's what we're exploring this season, how we can create the conditions for joy in our everyday lives, no matter the challenges we face. So as I wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this. What brings you joy? What conditions can you create to invite joy into your life? So in this season, as we go on, we're going to be exploring joy from different angles, personal, professional, and even cultural. We'll talk about the specific practices that help people cultivate joy and the challenges that make it difficult to hold on to. We'll also hear from many women and experts who have unique perspectives on joy. This week, I would like you to take a moment to reflect on this episode. And if you have a story about a time when you've been swept off your feet by joy, I'd love to hear it. Send me a DM wherever we're connected, or you can send me a voice note or an email. contact@changesbigandsmall.com. I'd love to share your story with our listeners in a future episode. To be honest, I don't have a grand plan yet for this season. I really just got the inspiration to explore this topic and I jumped right in. I took action to see how it evolves and where we go with it. I got inspired without knowing what was next for the podcast for several months, and so I'm just trusting this process. Next week, we'll dive into how personal growth can be a gateway to experiencing more joy in your life. If you've enjoyed listening to this episode, please help me share it with more people by leaving a review. You can find an easy link for reviews in the show notes. Remember, change begins with one small step. Have a great week.